Hi everybody, Jess here at Hart's Greenhouse. I'm here at the Norwich location, and we're out here in the beautiful perennial yard. It's a nice warm day today, and I just wanted to give everybody a little video on how to cut back perennials to get them to rebloom. So that's a great thing about perennials. They come back year after year. They're going to send up an initial bloom, and then once they go by, you can actually trim them back, and that's going to encourage a second bloom. And sometimes you can even get a third bloom. So very important to trim your perennials back after they've done their first bloom. So here's an example of a salvia in full bloom. So this is what they look like. They're beautiful. So we're going to keep that just the way it is for now. But here is an example of the salvia once it's gone by. So these flowers have all bloomed. You'll see they're just kind of brown, gone by. So you're going to need a nice sharp pair of shears or scissors, and you can really just give it a haircut. If they're really not picky as to where you trim it back, you can really just take it, and say this plant is in your garden, you would just go out there with a pair of snippers and just trim it right back, probably about, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches from the ground would be fine. Just as simple as that. Okay, so now you have kind of a nice tidy little clump, and you will be amazed in another couple of weeks this is going to bush right back out. All these little leaves are going to branch out again, and you will get a second blossom. This will be full of blooms. So that is an example of how to do the salvia. Okay, and then here's another one. This is a little dianthus. So this is a spring bloom. You'll see these have all gone by, and the flowers kind of shoot up above the foliage. So you could be just a little more careful with this one because you want to keep that foliage on the bottom nice. So you're literally just snipping off these dead flower stalks. Okay, so that looks a lot more tidy. So you can do that in your garden, and then you see more buds actually starting to come up here. So this will send up another round of blossoms as well. So that's how you would do a dianthus. All right, this one here is a beard tongue. So this is another spike flower that these flowers have gone by. Again, you're going to take the stalk all the way down and just clip it right off. Okay. And you can clean up if there's any dead leaves around the base of the plant. So that looks a lot better. So let's do this foxglove. So this is a spike flower, and you'll see these are getting really tall. They're starting to go by. It's just not that attractive. And we want to take these down and make it a little more tidy. I do have some little buds coming up here, so I'm not going to cut those off. So I'm just going to take this really long, lanky flower stalk that's going by, and I'm going to trim it right above the junction where these new buds are coming out. Same with this one over here. Trim that right off. And so now this plant looks a lot better. It's a lot more tidy. And there's still some blossoms down there, and these are going to continue to open. This here is an astilbe. This is a good shade perennial. And you'll see some of these are gone by and some are still nice and blossomed. So you can go out there with your shears and just trim off these gone by flower spikes. And you can do it right above a leaf junction. And I'd probably keep that one and that one. And then it's going to continue to send up more fresh blossoms throughout the summer. Last example I have here is a butterfly bush. Very common perennial. This one here has some blossoms that are still budded and some that are gone by. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to trim off the ones that are gone by, kind of down to the junction there. I'm going to cut that right there because these two buds are still good right here. Okay. They're really not too picky as to where you trim them, but I try to just go right above the junction there so that your new leaves will come out. Okay, so that's all cleaned up. All the dead blossoms are off. These are all going to bloom beautifully. Your plant looks a lot better. So let's say that in 2 to 3 weeks, all of these flowers are gone by. You can actually just take this all the way down, kind of like I did with the first salvia. You can take this whole plant down, just give it a full haircut about 6 to 8 inches from the ground, and then your plant will actually regenerate new leaves, new blossoms, and you'll get a second round of flowering out of your butterfly bush. So a lot of perennials will give you a second round of blooms, which is great. So great thing to do this time of year. Take a look out in your perennial yard, perennial gardens, and see what you can do to get your flowers to rebloom. All right, and I just want to give you guys a quick tip on fertilizing your perennials. Great idea to just keep the leaves nice and green, keep the blooms coming. We do recommend the Jack's. You can use the all-purpose fertilizer for the perennials. So this is a water-soluble fertilizer. There's a scoop in here. It's 1 scoop per gallon of water. Mix it up, and you can use this on your perennial beds about once a week. If you want to do it a little bit less often, this is a slow-release fertilizer. It's little granular pellets, and this you would just sprinkle around the base of your plants. This is called Jack's Classico. It's a time-release fertilizer. So this is going to give your plants a slow release of food throughout the summer. Apply it every 6 weeks, or about every 6 to 8 weeks on this. So you can go either way. As long as they're getting fed, they'll be very happy. Give them that cut, trim them, don't be afraid to trim them, and you'll get a nice second bloom out of them. All right, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.